Hi, friends. So, uh, the other day, I was talking to a friend of mine who who shared with me a very interesting analysis that they've made of me and my life and how I do things, and I was fascinated about how you view yourself and how people view you. So I was going through a really, really tough time at the time. I was struggling a little bit financially, and my business was not working out well. And I was going through quite a few things in the background there. But the interesting thing is that my friend who was talking to me looked at me and said, she she feels that I have made it, and that if I could share the secret sauce of what has made me make it with other people, I would improve lives. And my question was like, me? Made it? I have not made it. Actually, when she was sharing that, what she didn't know is that in my wallet, I had like 20,000 Uganda shillings that day. I was quite broke. I had some fuel in my car, but I had decided that even when I go to town, I will not eat. I'll just make sure that I don't use this 20,000, because when I get home, maybe somebody might need to do to use it for something else in the house as I figure out the money situation. But I woke up, I had dressed up nicely, put on my nice clothes. I mean, you have a closet full of clothes that you bought long ago. I had done my little lipstick here, and for people who were looking at me, I looked like I have it all together. But the truth of the matter is, you can never have it all together. You just have to wake up every day and be intentional about making the best of your day. So when this person said that to me, I had a quiet moment to be grateful, to take, a gratitude journey through my life and say, thank you, Lord, for food on my plate. I mean, food in my house, for my children, for my health, for my home, for the fact that, yeah, I have a car that I can drive, and I have a business that today is not doing well, but it has capacity to do very well. And it has days when it does very, very well. And then I have, some periods when things are really, really, really not okay. And sometimes you can actually be in debt, but nobody knows all that. And you don't need to go through sharing all the details of that. But what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that this inspired me to create this video and other series. So I'm going to be doing different series. There's about friendship, there's about like some series about making your life work for you. But then there's also, I decided to share a small series about how I started my business, because people have been asking me, you seem to be very, empowered, educated, all that, and you started a business and it's kicking off and you're doing all sorts of things. Yes, I'm able to do quite a number of things, but I started my business in a very simple way, and I wanted to share that. I looked at, for example, what is my skill and what is my experience. I realized that I've been in clean energy and in solar for the last 10 years. I've been doing speaking engagements for the last 10 years. So I thought, these two could be my business ideas. So I got my notebook as I was going through, silently resigning from my job. They usually, there's a concept of where they silently fire you or people silently resign. I think I read about that concept when after COVID, where people just silently resigned or silently got fired, especially people who were working from home. When they were forced to go back to the office, they started to silently resign. So I silently resigned from my job for 6 months. But I knew that I had to put together some money that will keep me going as I figure out what my next life is going to be. So as I was silently resigning, oh my gosh, as I was silently resigning, I kept writing down inspiration, ideas that come to my mind. What can I do? What is my experience? For example, who are my networks? If I came up with a product, who would buy it? And who are those people that would be interested in supporting me? Who are the networks that will push my cause? Who are the friends that I feel will, you know, support me as I start my business? And then what product, for example, will I launch my business with? Do I have money to put into the business? How will I market my business? How will I get people to know what I'm doing? And how will I be able to sell and scale the business? So I was asking myself all sorts of questions. Then I remembered that I went through a I went through the MBA long ago. So I realized, okay, one, now I have experience in solar, I have experience in speaking, training, and those speaking engagements. I was like, okay, that is there. Number two, I am alive, I'm able-bodied, I have 10 feet, 10 fingers, okay. My brain works, okay. And I have a car, and I have a computer, and I have a phone. So I looked at what I have in terms of assets, what I have in terms of money, and what I have in terms of networks. And then I started looking into my networks of who among the people that I know will want to support my business or will want to partner with me to set up the business. So I was looking at people in terms of financial support or financial investment, ideas and mentorship. I was looking at people in terms of people that we can start the business with, and also people who are network, people who know people. And then I was also looking at, okay, in my history, who have I worked with whom our relationship is still going well. I was like, okay, I have a former boss that I worked with, and they still have good products that I could sell, and they're not on the market anymore. So I was like, okay, reach out to them and ask those questions. So I asked questions. So I was gathering. It was not like I was very structured in what I was doing before. I got to write the business plan long after I had started the business. But when I started, I just thought, okay, where is the product? Who will buy it? So I got down and wrote a list of 100 people who I think will be able to buy my product. Number two, I wrote the list of products that I feel I will be able to sell. I wrote the market that I feel I will be able to sell these products to. So I went into my MBA and came back and said, okay, so when you are running a business, we have those 7 marketing P's. Number one, product. So I looked into my networks and I found products that I could sell. I was like, okay, that is tick. Number two, price. So I realized, okay, how am I going to price my product so that it's interesting enough for people to want to buy it? Number three, I looked into the processes. How will I sell the product? How will the customer get my product? How will I deliver the product to the customer? What's the timeline between the time they order and the time I deliver? And how am I going to get the money? How am I going to get people to pay me money? For example, if I'm selling this product in Kampala and the customer is in Gulu, how am I going to reach out to them and how are they going to reach out to me? So I said, okay, fine. I'm going to create a mobile money account that will be receiving money, and then I'll be able to put these things on the bus. So I started learning about how to ship products to people, which buses are safer for the different regions. Sometimes I'll even ask the customer, how do I get this product to you? Number three, how available am I in terms of reach? How do people know what I am doing? How am I going to promote my product? So I started with thinking about the ordinary ways of creating flyers and putting them out there, participating in trade shows and all that. And then I also thought about, okay, what else can I do to get the word out there? Which is, remember, we don't have a lot of money. So thinking about what are those cost-effective ways that will allow me to put my word out there. So that is really about the promotion. And then the next thing I was like, okay, so where am I going to sell my product in terms of who will I sell to, where, in which, for example, which country, or which town, or which district. I thought about that as well. I'm like, okay, so I am going to sell this product in this and this and this district. This is where the need is based on my experience. Fine. And which niche will I work with? I have worked with farmers, I've worked with rural communities. Who needs my product the most? I wrote that down. And then I went and said, okay, fine. Now that I have all these ideas in place, who am I going to work with? How am I going to push this product out there at the least cost possible while I'm gaining and the people are gaining? So I came up with a plan for that as well, And how are these people going to learn how to sell the product? So I set up a training, prepared a training plan, and then organized a training for the people to participate. The last thing I thought about was, okay, so the processes are clear, whatever. For the start, it doesn't have to be perfect, but at least I have an idea of how it's going to run. Okay, so next is where is my business going to be? Am I going to be fully online, or am I going to have a space? So I had to think about the space. When I look at my finances in the background, am I able to pay rent for a space over a year? Because that is what it takes for you to set up your business and get it going. What can I do? So I looked into my networks and figured out the space. First started in a co-working space, and then after that I negotiated with one of my very, very lovely close people for a space in their location. And I had to renovate it, and then eventually we'll talk about the rent. Then I thought about partnerships. Who am I going to partner with? But then when I started that, I realized that when I had these conversations with the different potential partners, friends who could put money into the business, I realized that they needed me to have a business plan. They needed me to have tested out the business that I'm thinking about before they can invest in that. So I gave them that. I was like, okay, fine, we shall come back to this conversation when I have a better idea. So that is how I started the business. And then I decided on such and such a date, I am launching the business. I'm starting with a certain number of products. This is how I'm going to promote. This is how I'm going to, put together some flyers, some t-shirts, like things that are going to promote the business and get it out there. These are the events I'm going to participate in so that the company is seen and it's visible. And do not forget the other item, which is so important as you're starting a business: registration of the business to formalize it. So I went into my networks again and looked for people who could help me, to give me advice on how to set up a business, how to set up, tax compliance, working with URSB, getting the legal things going, setting up the memorandum and articles of association, like all that detail, getting the certificate of registration, like making sure that my file of company documents are on point, the bank account has been opened, and basically we are good to go. Because the plan is not to start a small business and leave it small. The plan is to start a small business, but grow it according to what you see, evolve according to what you see, what the needs are, what products are more interesting for the clients, and also to engage with organizations that are bigger than individuals. So if you're not formally registered and you do not have your tax compliance in order, your accounts in order, then you will not be able to transact. So I also had to find somebody who knows, who understands accounts better than I do, although I did the MBA, but that's not my thing. My thing is people and interaction. And you have to understand what your strengths are. So there are people who can actually give you accounting services on retainer, like it's on a small retainer. So I found those kinds of people, and we created an accounting platform for my business so I can be able to track how I am doing, how we are doing, and how the business is going. So that when it comes to the tax reporting time, I'm able to report. Of course, when you start the business, you're just putting money. It's basically taking money, taking money, taking money, taking money, taking money, taking money. So I have to be very prudent. What am I going to spend on? What am I not going to spend on? So here we are, some months later. I was able to launch the products. I was able to get them on the market. I was able to recruit agents that I work with. I was able to recruit also some partners, and also people that, directors that I work with in the business. But on top of that, I was able to make actually considerable number of starter sales. I mean, it's still at a loss, but I can see where the company is going. 3 months down the road, I was able to, actually in the first 2 months, I was able to make some good sales. 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, I know that 1 year, 2 years down the road, this company is going to be so much bigger than it was when we started. But it starts with a vision. My idea is to impact women and youth. And so I never leave that vision. Everything I'm doing is thinking about how do I improve the life of the woman and the youth through the business that I'm doing. But I'm not an NGO, so how do I also make money as I'm improving people's lives? So this is where we are. The journey is still going. It is not without difficulty. It is not without challenges, but it is also not without excitement. It is so exciting to see the business grow and see where it's going. So if you want to discuss, brainstorm with me on, how to start a business and business ideas, especially in our environment here, yeah, I'm happy to speak through it. I mean, I'm happy to have these conversations to help you kind of gather your thoughts and launch that business. Even if it's a small business that you're doing on the side, launch it, get it going as you figure yourself out. The one thing that you have control over is your own business. You know what the product you want, you know the character of the business you want. You know the character of the business that you want to create. You know what kind of brand you want to create. You understand, you're making your own decisions yourself, you're making your recruiting, you're making your networks as you want them. And at the end of the day, you are not going to be fired. If you get this business running and keep it running prudently, that means that this business is going to feed you all the way into your old age. So think about it. Create a business that you can feed and keep feeding until it gets to a point where this business starts to feed you. So do not be afraid to start. There's a friend of mine who was saying, I want to try this, I want to try that. They were giving me like 7 ideas that they wanted to do. I was fed up of listening to them. I told them, you know what, just start. Start, make mistakes. This will fail, the other will fail, the other will fail. But you will keep trying. You'll get frustrated, you get knocked down. You stand up again, you get knocked down, you spend a day, in your frustration, feeling sad, but then you get up, start again, look at other people, learn from other people, sit in other people's meetings, sessions, YouTube, webinars, whatever, Zoom meetings, and try to see how has he done it. Because he will share one idea out of the whole talk of like a whole day, and you're like, oh, that could work for me. And then you try it and then it works. So be open. If you have any questions around starting a business, in Uganda especially, I have started many businesses. Some are not working, some are working. I have run companies. For some I was successful, for others I failed miserably. But even with the failings that I went through, there's learnings that I picked from there that I can share with you so you don't have to go through the same story. So just keep going. There's nothing to lose. As long as you have life, you have 10 hands, you have 10 feet, and you have a brain, and you have networks, you know people, you can start a business. Okay? So please subscribe to my channel and share with other people so that they can come and get to listen to my insights, maybe just out of all the ongoing conversations, like the back and forth, things that I say, there could be one little thing that could add value to their lives. Either when it comes to, for example, dealing with hysterectomy, menopause, hormone imbalance, whatever, or starting a business, or getting yourself out of a funk, or dealing with friendships, or these real life situations that we go through every day, or parenting, or enjoying life on a budget, or going out on solo vacations as a mom, traveling, like things that keep life exciting. I'll be sharing these things. I'll be sharing my life out there, and I'm looking forward to engaging. Thank you so much for your time. I am excited about this channel. I think we are going to do great things together. Please subscribe, like, and share with other people. Have a good day. And I'm sending you positive vibes and positive energy out there. I'm sharing with you my vibes so that if you're feeling down in the funks, down in the dumps, at least you get some positive vibes to know that you are loved. God loves you. The universe will conspire to give you success, but you need to make the effort and put yourself out there and be intentional about it. Be very intentional about what you want and get out of complaining mode. I actually had to teach myself that. Stop complaining. Act. Stop complaining. Act. If your boss is mistreating you and you're unhappy about where you are, what can you do about it? If you're broke, but then you have some ideas, or you can even fry guineas and sell them. You can go buy clothes secondhand, wash them, organize them properly, and sell them. You can buy baby clothes, wash them, put them together, and sell them. You can cook food and share it and take it to different people's homes and offices. You can sell fruits and make it a thing. You can do juice. You can do you can pack fruits and sell. You can buy things from other people and resell. We have networks, we have people who are out to support us, we have friends. Rather than sitting down and complaining and saying, oh, life is bad, I can't do anything about it, use your 50,000 to multiply to 10,000 shillings. I keep telling the people that I train and work with that do not let a day go by when you've not made at least 10K. 10,000 Uganda shillings, not 10K dollars, but 10,000 Uganda shillings, 5,000, 10, 20. Buy something, sell it. If the business that you're working on right now is not bringing you money at the moment, what else can you sell? What else can you buy and sell? What services can you offer other people so that they can pay you? Speaking engagements, all sorts of things. It's just amazing, the opportunities out there if you open your eyes and stop complaining and just start acting about it. I will not say that I am perfect. I have days when I'm also down in the dumps, and I have days when I'm complaining and feeling like life is not okay. But then again, you cannot do that for today, tomorrow, and the other day. How will your family feed? How will you feed? How will you support other people? We have responsibilities towards ourselves and towards other people to get up and do something. Thank you so much. I am not judging anyone. I am not saying that life is perfect and we are living in utopia. I'm just saying try and fail, but do not fail to try. Because even when you don't want, let's say, to wake up and clean your room or do something, do that one thing. Get up and at least lay your bed. When you lay your bed, you'll be inspired to dust, mop, wipe, whatever. And then life goes on. Even with business, it's like that. Get one thing, sell it. When you buy that one thing and sell it, believe you me, you will get excited about buying more and trying to sell and make life work for you. Or if you feel like you want to be a speaker or a trainer, then create a training program. Give it for free, to some friends of yours, some people. Share it. Create a YouTube channel. Share whatever. And, at the end of the day, you have started. It might not be perfect. It might not be the very best that you're going to deliver, but you have started. The most important thing is to start, and then you improve as you go along. Wing it until finally it becomes perfect. I mean, everybody who is doing what we are doing started somewhere. Everybody that we look up to started somewhere. They had doubts, they had fears. They wondered if people will accept them. They wondered if people will accept their business. They even failed. They became broke. They went to zero. I know people who slept in cars. I know people who moved away from their houses and went back to their relatives. I know people who did not have food and they had to be fed by the neighbors. But at the end of the day, if you make an effort to move yourself from one point to another, congratulations. Let's keep pushing, let's keep trying, let's keep engaging, let's not give up. Even here at 40, where we are, here, life has not ended. When your career ends, where we are right now, people are saying, oh, you don't have any new ideas, you're older, in some places, When your career ends, or your career is about to end, or you're being pushed out of the job, do not wait until they push you completely. Start thinking about what else you can do so that when you are pushed, you are not at zero. At least you have a starting point that will engage you, at least give you, even if it doesn't give you money immediately, it gives you energy. It gives you a reason to wake up in the morning. It gives you something to talk about. It gives you networks. It gives you excitement about your life. And also, when you find that your job is ending and you're feeling like things are going to get tight, downsize your life. Figure out what are those things that you don't have to keep doing. You don't have to keep buying clothes, shoes, whatever. You can decide to downsize. If you've been doing your nails, every week, you can do them once a month, or you don't have to do them. When things are tight, you cut off the nails. When things are okay, you go and do them. Like, make your life easy. When you're in a good place, you can go eat in a fancy restaurant. If you're not, cook your own food at home and eat. Like, adjust as and when the circumstances are. Thank you so much. I have gone on and on and on. This is such a long video. I apologize to my viewers for making it so long, but I just wanted to encourage people. I went off on a tangent, but I hope it's adding value to you. Thank you.